Okay, uh, so I'm Pranav Joshi. This is a tiling game similar to Tetris. So what's the story behind it? Well, I first encountered this in IITGN's Winter Carnival. So one of my friend, he had this stall where you had four games. So one of them was a card game, which was probabilistic in nature. So that was the one where people were winning. The other three games were impossible to win. One of them was a game where you had to move pins on a board, and the pins represented a hunter and a prey. So like it had a diagonal in between of the grid, and that would make, you know, one turn equal to two turns. So for example, if the starting turn was of the hunter, then if it passes through the diagonal, then it's as if the starting turn was uh, of the prey, and stuff like that. There was like this pizza slice kind of thing. So you had 12 coins, and then you had to remove either one or two. You cannot remove two non-adjacent coins, but yeah, basically one or two coins. And then the thing was like whether or not I yeah, so like doesn't matter what I removed, the competitor, the second player, basically the one who gets second chance, can always just remove the coins directly opposite to me in the circle, and then he's gonna win. So yeah, it had things like that. And it also had this game, which now I've coded in JavaScript, right? So this is the full code for this. It's very messy because I was not sure what I'm going to do, but yeah, this is basically it. Let's run this. So yeah, this is the game. You have these I don't know, call them Tetris pieces or whatever. Basically these tiles which you can rotate, you can flip, and you have to fit these tiles on this board so that the board is completely occupied and no tiles are overlapping. So these are allowed to overlap in this game, but those are not in the in real life you don't have that. You can only put them next to each other, you can't make them overlap. Okay, so give it a try, and I'm gonna explain the solution, right? And also I made these buttons, so these are gonna flip the last selected thing, but I'm I'm gonna flip it directly using rotate and flip buttons. Like keyboard buttons on my keyboard, right? And no, I won't be explaining the code for that because come on, that's the boring part. I can send you the JavaScript file and the index.html file, but let's think about the maths behind it. So yeah, spoilers in 1 2 3. The thing is, it's impossible to solve this thing because, well, okay, let's actually do the worst method of doing it. So first let's put this here. So I'm gonna prove that this can't lie here, because if that's the case, then you have to put this two thing either here, which doesn't have any solution, because you cannot put, okay, if you put this somewhere over here and then yeah, it doesn't work. The thing is, it doesn't work because first of all, you can't put this anywhere, right? Like, yeah, this has like 3 times 1 and then this one protruding part. So if this 3 times 1 has to be somewhere, well, it has to be either here or something like that. But that would mean the protruding part is coming out of the line, so not gonna work. So you can't put this here, then maybe you can put it on an edge or something, and by symmetry you can go for the other one as well, but whatever, I'm just gonna go for this case. In that case, you have this two block chain over here, and then you can only put this over here, so like that. You cannot put anything else because these blocks do not have a 2 block chain and then an extra part. So like this only has 1 block, so yeah, you can't insert it in, unfortunately. So yeah, this doesn't work. And then what about a corner case? Then you will have to fill these two blocks somehow, and that's only possible with this. But then you of course have these two blocks, so that's not possible with these, which means not possible. So this is also not possible. So then I've just proved that like all kinds of positions for this block is not possible in this particular case. So this can't lie here, then it must lie here or here or here or something like that. But I mean, this is symmetric to that, so it doesn't matter. We will just be checking this and that. Well, this is of course false. I mean, this doesn't work because yeah, you won't find a block with only linear chains, so not gonna work, right? So then this must be the case. Okay, so that means you have to fill this one somehow. You can't use this, you will have to use one of these three. Well, let's try disproving some cases. So if you put something like that, okay, you have this L kind of piece which has to be filled. The only way to fill that is using this, because this, yeah, it doesn't have it. So you rotate. I guess you also have to flip a bit. Yeah, so you just keep rotating and there you go, that's the correct orientation. Fine. And now you have to fill these two, which can only be filled using this, and there you go, this doesn't work. So right, this doesn't work. What about putting something like this here? I mean, this is also not gonna work. First of all, you have to fill this one, which can be filled with this, so you can rotate and then put it here. It's one way of doing it. Can you also flip and rotate and like put? No, you can't. So the only way is this, right? Okay. And in that case, you have to fill these as well. So there's only this way of doing it. And notice that this remaining space is like symmetric, so it doesn't matter which of these two I fill. So if I just fill it like that, that's bad. You have one space left, not good. And if I fill it like this, then I can't fill this. So this is also not nice. Next one is this. So this has two cases. One, you can directly put it like this, or you can put this one there, but first we'll do this one. So you have to fill these two spaces somehow, but guess what, you can't. I mean, the only way you could fill those is using this blue block, but it's already used. Okay, so this one is disproved very easily. What about the one case where you flip this, rotate this, and now you can put it here, right? In that case, you have to fill these two blocks, but the only way now to do it is using this block, because these two won't allow that. And now you have to fill these two blocks again. That's a problem, because as I said, these blocks don't allow that. Well, okay, you can kind of fill this one, and then there's this one thing, and then that's a problematic thing once again. But yeah, the thing is, just see that it doesn't work. Okay, so yeah, that basically exhausts all possibilities. So can we like prove that in a better way and not doing all of this case-wise stuff that we did? Well, we can. Think about this, that if we basically make this a checkerboard and then put 1, -1, 1, -1, so on these what do we call it, like cells basically. So the first cell will have 1, next cell will have -1, then 1, then -1, then go to the next row, so it's 1. Also notice that as you are jumping from here to here, you are changing from -1 to 1, right? Okay, so you're going to the next row, it's 1 over there, and so on. So the fact is, like, this is an even number, 4 is an even number, that's why this is gonna work. It's gonna be like a checkerboard, and it continues and stuff. The main thing to notice is that the sum of all of these numbers on the cells, those would be 0, right? Okay. Yeah, but look, but then, okay, assume that you could somehow find a solution, and then you could like fill this completely with these pieces. Then the sum of the numbers on these pieces must also be 0, right? Well, look at this piece. If we assume that this one is 1, then this is going to be -1, then this thing containing two cells, that's going to have a 0 sum. Similarly, these two will have a 0 sum, right? So any adjacent two cells will contribute 0. So this has 0 sum basically. This one too has 0 sum because this can be thought of as, you know, a 2 by 1 and a 2 by 1. Similarly this one, this is a 2 by 1 and another 2 by 1, and this is of course 0, 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1. Once again a 2 by 1 times and another 2 by 1, right? Okay, but this one is different. So if you have 1 over here, then this will be negative 1, this will be 1, and this will be negative, wait, no, okay, this will be 1 again, fine. Yeah, so this is 1, then this is 1, and this is 1, and this one is negative 1, something like that. So the sum is not 0, but I mean all of these have 0 sum, and that plus whatever is going to be the sum over here, either it's 2 or it's negative 2, doesn't matter, it's not 0, right? So 0 plus something not 0 can't be 0 because it must be 0, right? I mean it must be 0 because we are assuming that this can be made up by all of this. We are assuming that. That's a contradiction basically. So there you go, you have proved that you cannot fit these blocks or tiles into this checkerboard thing. And yeah, that's where I'll stop. I'll see you guys in the next video.